Lombo, Angelique Kidjo, and that song Break we just brought to you a few minutes ago. Hope you enjoyed it though. Now, time for us to jump into some of the big trends happening in the past 24 hours or plus. So let's start off with our very first story, coming out from our very own Uncle Ebo Whyte this morning. Now, he says, don't blame men for cheating. And this is a point in time where I open the floor for my conversations with my team here. Don't blame men for cheating. And his reason is that he stated that men have generally this hunting spirit, okay, and yet, or most often at times, underestimate the power of humans' default programming. Hence the reason. So it's like we forget about the our make, and then the insatiable desire to always want. As to what they want, is we can save that conversation for another day. But men want. So he says that don't blame men for cheating. The only part that I side with Uncle Ebo Whyte is the first 4 words. Maybe the last one I will not debate, because to open a can of worms here. Don't blame men. That's all. Generally, I think that not necessarily men. I think that personally, if you understand the make of every gender, you realize that God,
the man's psyche, deliberately
did certain things to guarantee certain things to happen. A typical example is procreation. This is my school of thought. Imagine if men didn't have that hormone that drives them to want a woman when they see a woman. And we didn't have that hormone. There was
even
no
in animals. It's
even
same.
in animals, the same. So procreation would have had a certain, problem at a point in time where we wouldn't have people wanting to even recreate more. Like by now, the world would have ended with lack of human beings.
Do you know my favorite part?
Tell me about
of what you read. No wonder I've always felt like wielding a spear. We're warriors, right? We go out hunting.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
interesting.
so that is just on the lighter side.
Yeah.
You go out hunting?
It's on the lighter side.
Do you
see,
go on, do you
God
go
being
out
so good.
hunting?
It's on the lighter side. I
God
know
being
where
so-
you're
Do you
headed,
go-
and
do you-
that's
No,
why
you
I'm saying
see,
it's on the lighter side.
This is very general. I like to relate. I need a case study to relate.
Okay, so for
God
me,
being so good, he didn't make man like woman in the sense that, you see, women are moved by emotions as compared to men moved by sight. Imagine if both genders were moved by emotions. Like, it would take a very long time before a human being is made.
I agree. But do you? Let's personalize
what?
it. I want to understand. Do you go out hunting?
Hunting.
Yeah.
no,
but
you must be very
Hunt-
specific.
hunt-
Don't answer that question.
I actually want
You
to
must be
answer.
very specific. Hunting for what?
On the
Because
backdrop.
I eat
On the
kebab.
backdrop of what he just read.
I eat kebab.
Is it
I don't
relatable?
eat dog and cat. I eat kebab.
I go
Then-
Eba hunting. I hunt for Eba. Yeah.
Okay, next story, Jay.
But there is that tendency
Yeah.
on a more serious note. Each man, I remember reading this book, Every Man's Burden. Sexually, our orientation is a hunting orientation. If you don't discipline yourself, if you don't create character for yourself, you'll mess yourself up. You'll be going around doing. I mean, we've seen people, even pastors and stuff, coming up to say, "Oh, the Spirit led me to." I was reading a story recently, and it's all Charlie. MFA. No, it is our reality. Our hormones kicking in such a way that we are attracted to what we see. You guys are very different.
Hunter is a hunter.
You must. Oh,
Hunter is a hunter.
there are hunters who go for only deer,
I told you
hunters
I'll
who
open the
go
floor
for
for
only this,
conversation.
and there are hunters who mix them all up. And your hunter be a hunter.
I wish you were allowed to open phone lines and get your take on this, but we'll find another day for that on
Messages as well.
Wednesday. But let's move on to the next story. It says soon no Ghanaian will travel abroad, and this coming out from Ejako, as he says that the president is doing well, so very soon the country will be a safe haven for us to stay in here.
I'm confused.
Well, yes,
Finish with
same
that.
here. It says, according to the actor, reports are false and masterminded by people who want to tarnish the image of the president. The popular actor, who is a staunch supporter of the NPP, emphasizes that there is no audio-video evidence supporting certain reports that parents have been sending their children abroad due to the current state of the insecurity in the country. Now, he continued that I'm personally delighted that they disappoint the people. The president is doing very well and it's best for the country. And very soon, no Ghanaian will have to even travel abroad. Well, people don't travel abroad not only because of hardships. I mean, people want to travel and see, like they say. But anyway, that's what's up.
But that's a bit unrealistic, because even in the most developed economies across the world, people travel for work. There are people who travel from the UK to France for work. There are people who travel all across. So this is a bit below the political high-thinking belt.
As a matter of fact, just a few days ago, he came out to say that if you feel unsafe here in Ghana with your child, this was because of the kidnapping and lots of killings, you should travel and you should go out.
And that is insensitive, because, you know, some of us travel, and you have that feeling, I don't know whether it's same for you. You go, and after a few weeks, months, you want to come back to Ghana. This is the land of our birth. You can't sit somewhere and tell someone that if you don't feel way here, go. We are nationals of this country, but let's leave that conversation for now.
Well, Accra is one of the most expensive places to live, says Trigmatic. Now, he says when you look at the city, I'm telling you, it's one of the most expensive places to live in the world.
I agree.
Now, to buttress this point, the songwriter who also resides in the country, or Accra, disclosed that outrageous amounts being paid by parents as school fees, among other bills, make staying in the country unbearable, he shares.
Do you know, Jay Foley,
Yeah.
just on the back of that, I think 2019, there's this index of housing cost out of 209 countries. We placed 63rd in the world, I think, in 2019. Last year, we placed 53rd. Just the cost of housing, whether rent or buying, it tells you how expensive Accra is.
Yeah,
and we are compared to all of these other countries across the world. It's no joke.
People don't like cheap things.
Charlie?
Or afford.
They say cheap things are free things are cheap.
Are you thinking of purchasing power parity? How much on average a person is earning in Ghana, the value of our city, and what you can do with it?
No, I'm just saying that I mean, people want expensive watches, expensive clothes, but they don't want expensive cities. they're racist.
You are not correct.
Anyway, that's what Trigmatic is saying. Let's move on to another point here now. Shatta Wale is also in the news recently, heavily battling conversations with Sadiq, CEO of 3 Music Awards. But let's get into what the talk about here is on Shatta, as he speaks about collaborating with artists and the fact that it shouldn't be done just because it's supposed to, you know, make it exciting and feed the fans. We should also consider business, he says. He says he did something with Samini because it was business. He's not really here just to impress. He said he knows doing a song with Sarko there would bring a lot of revenue to him as well. So he considers all those things before he jumps into doing collaborations. After all, he says people also have to pay their light bills and all. So they also have costs they also have to take care of. So he thinks that it shouldn't be that, what do you call it? Just get up and do anything. It has to be business. Anyway, so that's how I'm wrapping up my What's Trending this morning, or my last word with Shatta, while we'll be going into some sports and business as well, guys. So, yeah.